All right, gang. The attendance was 18,603. The gate was 4.7 million. Fight of the night, Merab and Jan, Iwo and Torres, performance of the night. But we will be throwing a lot more money around than that tonight. Before we get into it, I want to thank Bob Iger, Kevin Mayer, Jimmy Pitaro, Burke Magnus, Matt Kenny, Glenn Jacobs, and everyone else at ESPN for all their hard work and helping build the sport and the brand over the last 7 years. The relationship with ESPN has been incredible. It's been a really good experience, and we appreciate everything they did for us. Who's got the first question?
Fantastic. I guess Cejudo, does he get his unofficial $50,000 bonus?
Who?
Henry Cejudo.
It's official.
Very nice.
Where'd that come from? Oh, did he tell you? Was he in here or something?
The audio made it out that you guys were talking or whatever.
All right.
So, no, this, like you said, incredible night of fights, a lot of great performances. But the main event, Petr Yan, a masterclass there. Can you just talk about his performance, especially given how one-sided that fight was the first two times that those guys competed?
Yeah, it's incredible. We were looking for a fight, and we were in Jersey, and Merab was the main event of that fight, and we ended up signing him. And Matt Serra literally told me that night, this guy is going to be your world champion, and he's a special fighter, I'm telling you. And Matt Serra was absolutely right. One of the toughest fighters that I've ever come across. And let's just say, Merab and I didn't get off on the right foot early on. I have nothing but respect for him and everything that he's accomplished. And and for Petr to come in and do what he did tonight, and I mean the body shots and the head shots and the wrestling. I mean, it was an incredibly high level fight. That was, what a hell of a way to end the ESPN era.
Yeah, it really was. Do you think? I mean, there is a case for a trilogy, right? I mean, I'm sure Merab's going to need some time off after that, but I mean, are you thinking about trilogy right now between these two, or do you feel like Petr Yan did enough tonight to move on to other challenges?
You know the answer to this question. I'm not thinking about anything tonight other than, that tonight was a great night of fights, and I don't know. Yeah.
As great as the main event was, the co-main event was shocking, right? Nobody saw that coming. I guess your reaction to the way that thing played out.
Yeah. Van was all bummed out. When I got in there, he said, sorry about this. I said, listen, man, there's nothing to be sorry about. I said, it's a shitty way to lose the fight. There's no shitty way to win a fight. So you won. It is what it is. Things happen in here. And congratulations.
Do you have a medical update yet on Pantoja? Do we know what his status is?
Yeah, they popped his shoulder back in. I thought it was the elbow.
I did too.
No, it was not the elbow.
Shoulder?
It was his shoulder. And they popped it back in backstage. And, now they got to do, MRIs and check out the ligaments and see how it is. So we don't have a time frame on how long he'll be out.
I know the Tuesday answer as well, but I mean, given the way that thing played out, if he's okay, do you run that one back right away? Do you see what he's doing first?
I don't think no matter what happens, listen, I'm no fucking doctor or anything, but I don't see him coming back anytime soon. I think that there would be a defense before he comes back. I think he's going to need some time. The healing process and sometimes, or most of the time, I would say ligaments are worse than a break. So he's got to come back from that, and then how long till he starts striking again and stuff like that. So, yeah, there'll probably be a defense before.
Nice. Last thing for me, obviously, like you said, the end of the ESPN area, the start of the Paramount Plus era. We saw today the Ultimate Fighter will be there. Dana White's Contender Series will be there. It seems like a lot of sports leagues right now are like splitting up programming and sending it to different channels in different places. Why was that not the strategy for the UFC? Why did it make more sense to put everything on Paramount Plus?
Well, the answer is we're really lucky that Paramount Plus wanted everything. So these guys have already been incredible partners. So their team is all fired up. My team's all fired up, and we're really looking forward to this. Yeah.
Dana down here. Obviously, you said about the Paramount era coming up. That would mean the end of pay-per-views potentially for the UFC. When you look at the marketplace right now, what do you think it does to take the UFC off pay-per-view and make it more accessible for the fans? How much bigger can it make the sport? What do you think will happen with that?
Huge. And the amount of marketing that these guys are going to do, for the UFC on their platform is just, it's impossible for the sport not to get even bigger. It was $1,200 or $1,300 a year to be a fan. This year it's going to be $120 next year, something like that for the entire year. So, and we have huge fights coming up. The White House fight alone will be madness.
You've mentioned how aggressive Paramount want to be in promoting this sport and stuff like that. Are you anticipating seeing like fighters cameo in their shows, maybe more like massive promos that we've seen before in the past? What are you expecting from them in terms of promotion?
Well, I mean, is what I'm looking at now. Just the spend that they're doing, and if you guys are home Thanksgiving, watching the games, it was everywhere, and like 55 million people watched. I mean, just as that starts to happen over several years, it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Do you expect this is kind of going to force other promoters, particularly in boxing, to get off pay-per-view as well? If you're offering this value for a much lower price, do you think they're going to have to change their tactics?
Well, I'm them.
What did you think of the WBC stripping Terence Crawford of his belt?
Listen, if you look at how this thing's playing out, first of all, let me say this. I love that all these boxing guys love the Ali Act the way it is now. I want to see how many of them actually stay there and do that version of the Ali Act instead of the add-on that we're going to do. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a fucking rocket scientist to see what's going on with all these guys. All these guys that are crying the loudest are the fucking problems. They're the problem, every one of these guys. And, Crawford, nobody told Crawford to say anything. Crawford's his own man doing his own thing, and that's how he feels. And we'll see how this thing plays out in the next couple of years.
Are you surprised by this frosty reception from the other boxing promoters?
No, not at all. Not at all. But here's the thing that's great for fighters is that they have options. All these promoters are saying the Ali Act is perfect and this is the way it should be. I want to see them all stay in it. I want every one of them to stay in the Ali Act as it is now for the next however many years. All right. I fucking guarantee you they won't.
Two more quick ones from me. You said earlier this year that in the new deal we should see fighter bonuses going up. Do you have any idea what that looks like yet? And can we expect that to be in place for the first event on Paramount?
Yeah. No, I don't have any answers for that yet, but okay. Yes, probably.
Okay. And last one from me. Tom Aspinall did interviews recently saying that his eye is not better. He was a little bit disappointed with some comments you made. Have you spoke to Tom? Do you know anything about that? And what's your reaction to what he said?
I have not. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I don't remember exactly what I said. What did I say?
Just said you think that
I think his eyes are okay. Yeah.
Since no more pay-per-view, David with MMA in Myanmar.
Hold on, sir. I'm still talking to this guy.
Sorry, my bad.
Here's the thing. So obviously, and I know Tom said, I haven't even talked to him and all that stuff, but we have people all over him right now, checking up on him, making sure he's good. Does he need any help or, any specialists? Yeah, I'm no doctor. I'm just saying what I've heard. And that was in no way, it wasn't said in a way that they're like, oh, what do you think? I said, I think he's fine. It wasn't like that. I said, I think Tom's eyes are good. He's going to take some time, heal, come back to, that's all I said. I wasn't saying anything negative toward him. And I think the things can be taken out of context, or he didn't see what I said, because I don't even remember what the fuck I said. But never once did I say anything negative about him or, in a derogatory way. I'm sure he's upset and fired up, and, he'll get better, and we'll get him back in there. Yes, sir.
Right. So thank you. I'm sorry about the first one.
That's all right.
Since there is no more pay-per-view, the fighter they used to get cut from pay-per-view, now, are you going to replace, based on the view or something like that, and pay the fighters?
Yes. There is a model that we have figured out that can figure out how to pay guys based on pay-per-view still.
Okay, thank you. And now Josh got the belt, and it's been a while since UFC held event in Singapore. And since there's a lot of Burmese, Myanmar fans in Singapore, do you have any plan to go back to Singapore soon?
Yes, but it's funny. He was just asking me questions about what could happen next. Literally, as soon as that fight was over, we started thinking Japan. We haven't been to Japan in a long time, so I already got Pete Dropic looking for venues in Japan. But yes, we will be back to Singapore.
Possibly Joshua Wen and Tatsuro in Japan.
Who?
Joshua Wen and Tatsuro fighting for the belt in Japan.
Yeah. Yes. That's not. I know I'm going to fucking read tomorrow that he said it's in Japan. That I like the idea. It's a great idea. I don't know if it's possible to pull off, but yes, that's what I would like to do.
All right. Thank you. Last thing from me. Can you say hello to a lot of millions of Burmese fans, Myanmar fans?
Hi, Burmese fans. Thank you.
All right.
Happy holidays.
Dana.
All right.
Over here. Big win for Payne Talbot. Had a couple takedowns on Henry Cejudo. Looked like he was having fun in there. What did you make of Payton's performance? And it seems like you have a budding superstar on your
I could not agree with you more. He looked incredible tonight. The distance, the range, picking him apart on the outside, the takedowns. And again, much like the main event, I mean, Henry Cejudo showed tons of heart, took some big shots tonight, and kept fighting right to the end. So it was a hell of a night for fights.
And then on Henry Cejudo, what is he meant to the promotion? I know he obviously retired when he was in his prime, but he came back, and even Payne was in here, and he said, Henry he still has it.
So I was very unhappy when he retired. I thought that was a really bad idea. He was in the prime of his career, and he and I talked about that tonight backstage. But yeah, the guy's had not just a hell of a fight career, just a hell of an athletic career. He's married. They're building a house. It's all good shit.
And unrelated to this fight card, we haven't got to speak to you since all the big title fight announcements. Fans were a little surprised, I think, at the interim title and then the main event in Australia. Probably wasn't the matchups they thought were going to happen. So I guess why did you settle on Justin and Patty and Diego and Volk rather than Armin or anything like that?
Yeah, that's the way it played out in the war room. Yeah.
Hey, Dana, right here, please.
Yep.
Want to ask about the fight that opened the prelims. Faris Ziam, he got a big win with a huge elbow knockout against Nazim Sadikov. Fares has won 6 fights in a row. This is the biggest win streak for a non-ranked fighter in the whole UFC. Would you consider right now Faris Ziam would deserve to fight a top 15 contender in the lightweight division?
Somebody help me with that one.
Faris Ziam from France had a very good fight today, and he was a 6th win in a row. Is the longest winning streak of an unranked fighter in the UFC. So would you consider him? What did you say? What was it? A top 15 fight for him?
I'm sure we would. Yeah. Again, those are things like the Japan thing. These things are kind of stuff that'll pop up during the night that we think about and dive into it. But most of these other decisions aren't even talked about until Tuesday. But the answer is yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Dana, we all know your love of the rankings, your involvement with Meta, partnership with the UFC. Can we expect to see any update in the AI rankings that we've heard about for the last year heading into 2026?
Yeah, I literally just came out of a 3-day board meeting in Hawaii for Meta, and we were talking about, not only are we talking about rankings, but a lot of other things that we would integrate into the show with AI, and not just UFC, but boxing too.
A couple investigation questions. UFC 322, obviously there was a big melee with Dylan Dennis and Islam's team. Eric Adams, the mayor, came out and said there was a full investigation that was going to be happening. Can you provide any update on what?
I don't know jack shit about that.
Okay.
I know nothing.
And last one for me. Back in November, the Isaac Delgarian fight fixing stuff. Obviously, there's a long investigation going on in that. Can you provide any updates on what's going on with that?
Since the last time I talked about it, I don't know anything else. I know that obviously what you know, the FBI is investigating, and I don't know anything else.
Thank you.
Yep.
Dan, right here. February will be 25 years since you first appeared on UFC television as president and CEO now. I believe in 2019 you announced you had signed a 7-year extension for your position. That would bring it to next year. Have you signed anything new since then, or is this a contract year for you?
I have been extended.
For how long?
That's a good question. 5 years? Yeah. Another 5-year extension. Literally this year.
Okay, congrats. Over the course of these 25 years, with Henry Cejudo retiring tonight, I believe Cale Harrison is the only Olympian left in the UFC currently on the roster. If I had asked you 25 years ago, like, there's only going to be 3, 4, 5 Olympians who became UFC champions, would you think that's a good number, or would you have expected it to be higher?
That's a good question. I don't know. If you'd asked me back then, I was curious if we would even still be around today, let alone Olympians. But yeah, I guess it's a respectable number. I'm surprised that more Olympians that wrestle don't try to get into the UFC. But I think there's a big difference between wrestling and actually being able to get punched in the face.
Is Gable Steveson on your radar?
Very much so.
When do you think we could see him? Like, how many more fights do you want to see him outside?
I don't know, but he's on the radar big time.
Yeah. Well, one more Olympian question. There was that report that Ronda Rousey could be facing Katie Taylor. I wonder what you thought about that one.
Total bullshit.
Is Ronda in talks to come back? These rumors keep swirling around there. Right?
No.
No?
No.
Do you want to see her back in combat sports?
But that's up to her. You know what I mean? I personally cannot say enough good things about Ronda Rousey. My experience with Ronda Rousey, when she was going to the WWE called me to ask. I said, I'm telling you right now, she'll be the greatest athlete you ever worked with over there. I'm telling you, I can't say enough good things about her. She was great when she was here.
And last thing on lightweight, Arman Tsarukyan, obviously the odd man out now. We expect Ilya to be unifying against the interim title winner, which would make a long runway for his
I wouldn't
title.
say that he's the odd man out. He had an opportunity, and you guys know how that played out, and he's gonna have to work his way back. I don't give a shit what the number says. He's gonna have to work his way back. There's just too much goes into this for those type of things to happen. We had a little. We were talking back in my room tonight, and we were talking about all the crazy shit that's happened over the last 20-something years. But you can't do that. You can't get the opportunity, and then it can't end that way. So he's got to work his way back.
So the message is take the next fight you offer him, obviously?
No, I mean, he obviously... He knows what's going on. I don't give a shit what everybody else says. He knows what's going on, and he's got to work his way back to that title shot. Yep.
Dan over here.
Yep.
Congrats on the extension. First off, I just saw you mention there the bit of your boxing venture. So just curious, is there like a timeline for when we can see these Zuffa boxing announcements, like events and fighter signings you guys may have?
What? Somebody help me with that one. I don't hear well.
Can you repeat it here?
Okay. Is there a timeline for when we can expect announcements for Zuffa boxing events or maybe fighter signings you guys have in the works?
Announcing who we've signed?
For fighters announcing who you signed?
Yeah. When are we doing that, Lene? Soon? It's coming soon.
There we go. And I know you mentioned there Japan. I know the process to go back to a country you haven't been for in a while is a lengthy process, obviously, but just from this point of view, have you guys at least thrown out the Saitama Super Arena for a potential venue?
Arena in Japan, the Saitama Super Arena. Would you consider that kind of arena in Japan?
I don't know. We would have to get together with our team, and Pete Dropic runs that department, and we'll be fishing around for what's available, what's possible, and we'll figure it out.
Two. First, just seeing Macy Barber, everything that she's been through, and then to come back. What did you think of her performance and getting back in the cage today?
Yeah, she's one of those kids that came in and said, "I'm going to win everything. I'm going to, be your youngest champion. I'm going to, So she's, I'm happy for her.
And then the other one is, we talked about, Mike asked you about 25 years, but there's been these milestones along the way. The Ultimate Fighter, first fight on Fox, ESPN era, now that's over, going to Paramount. Like, do you take these steps to kind of analyze where you've been and where you're going? And do you use those personal milestones to kind of analyze just everything that's happened?
No, I mean, if you look at it, we bought our way onto TV, on Spike TV, right? Then, crazy ass story. I've told parts of it. NBC. We were supposed to be on NBC. We were supposed to be on NBC. We were going to buy a network. We were going to do all this shit. And Vince McMahon fucked that all up. So last minute we start, we get into a negotiation with Fox because I had a good relationship with Eric Shanks from DirecTV. And then ESPN happens after the sale. It's all been like the perfect, everything has worked out the way that it was supposed to work out. And looking down the barrel of Paramount now, I mean, these guys are incredible partners. So it's all playing out the way it's supposed to.
And then you started this kind of thanking some of the ESPN folks, but I guess just how would you assess what this era has been for the company and for you?
Well, if you think about when we started, we bought our way onto Spike TV, and we couldn't get covered by ESPN. So to finally do an ESPN deal, and then now leaving the ESPN deal, being very positive about it, and talking about what a great experience it was, it's great, and for us to be in a position, it's like he was asking me earlier about the boxing guys, right? All these guys bitching like nobody has a TV deal. Nobody has a TV deal, and if you think back to boxing, these guys were on. I always talk about USA's Tuesday night fights, ESPN's Friday night fights, HBO, Showtime. The list goes on and on of all the networks that these guys have been on, and they just keep blowing it, right? And we're the only ones now with a television deal in boxing. So I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about 2 seconds ago that got me on this, but anyway, it's been great. Every partner we had was who we were supposed to have along the way, and like I said, ESPN definitely helped take us to a whole nother level. I mean, the leader in sports, and you know what I'm saying, but yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah.
Dana over here. Yesterday, Derek Lewis took over the seasonal press conference. Is Paramount Plus ready for a Derek Lewis post-fight victory speech?
Is the White House ready for Derek Lewis? President Trump loves Derek Lewis. Loves Derek Lewis. And he hasn't told me to do anything. The president hasn't said, to this guy. But he will not stop talking about Derek Lewis. So it's a big fight for Derek coming up. Yeah. You done with me? Yeah? Happy holidays. I guess I'll see you next week, right? Thank you.